Welcome back to the Freedom Equation, you guys. Today, I want to talk about something that's actually really, really near and dear to my heart. Well, not like romantically or anything, but really what's important if you are trying to get ahead in this world, if you're watching my videos, you're interested in real estate, finance, making money, getting out of the rat race, anything like that. If you guys are watching my videos, this is key. This is crucial. I've done a bunch of videos already. I think I'm past 50 videos. But if you're going to watch any video, I think this one's very important. Probably top 5. Near and dear to my heart, and that I think is very, very important and that you guys need to take very seriously. It is called access to capital. Now, what do I mean by access to capital? I mean within 48 hours, how fast can you get money into your hand? If you need to buy a car, if you need to pay a doctor, a lawyer, buy a piece of real estate that's a screaming deal and you need the money now, if you need to help bail your mom out of jail, whatever it is, right? How fast can you get money in your hand right now? Access to capital. So this includes a couple things. Actual liquid cash in your bank account. Now, I want you guys to hear me out on this. For you guys who have a couple $1,000 or $10,000 or whatever it is you have in your bank account, you're not going to get all of that immediately. I've been to a bank where I tried to pull out, I think at the time it was like $20,000 or $30,000, and they said, we could not give you that much cash because we just don't have it. So, and they're willing to give me a cashier's check or whatever, right? Which is great. It's so they can move the digits, but they couldn't give me the actual cash. In fact, I went to pay my taxes this year. It was like $7,000 in taxes that I paid this year, and they asked me when I went up there. I said, how much money do you need? And I said, I need $7,200 or whatever. And they said, well, I hope you don't need that in cash. And I said, luckily for you guys, I don't. I'm going to do a cashier's check and pay my taxes. And they said, good, because we don't have that in this branch right now. That's scary. That's scary to walk into a huge bank and they don't even have 7,000. I mean, I think they said they could have come up with it, but not in big bills. Like they didn't have $7,000 worth of hundreds. Like they're going to be giving me tens and fives and stuff. Not good. Not a good look. I won't name the bank, but if you want to know, ask me in the comments. So anyways, access to capital, I kind of got off onto a tangent. Access to capital. So this is money in the bank. This is a line of credit. This is money that you have at your house, right? Gold, silver, fiat currency, quarters, whatever, right? If you have money at your house. Line of credit, credit cards, secured line of credit, home equity line of credit from the bank, secured line of credit, whatever, right? Access to capital. Or shoot, man, if you have a buddy that you know has $5,000 and you could call him and say, I need that, and he'll actually give it to you, that's technically access to capital. And the reason why this is so important and why I am making this one of my flagship videos where you guys really need to pay attention is because access to capital will win you the deal, right? If you are sitting in jail and you trying to get out, you need money. If you have been hit by a car, you need to be able to pay a doctor. If you find an investment that is so amazing, if someone's selling you a brick of gold, gold, G-O-L-D, you guys, if somebody's selling you an asset below market value, you want to buy it hand over fist as much as you possibly can. And you if somebody, I don't know what the price of gold is right now, but let's say it's $5,000. If somebody offered me a brick of gold and said, hey, I have this brick of gold, it's $50,000 worth of gold. And here's the paperwork to prove it. Don't get scammed, right? Obviously, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. But let's say it was actual legitimate and we were doing this, through a company and it was tested and everything. They give me a brick of gold and said, hey, it's $50,000. I'll sell it to you, Brandon, right now because I need $25,000 right now. I need it in the next 20 minutes. Brandon, can you get me $25,000? I can. Yes. Yes, I can. I can write you a check for $25,000 and you can go deposit it right now. I can, man, coming up with $25,000 cash is kind of a lot because like I said, the banks, like I could go to the bank, I have it in the bank, but I'd have to go to multiple different bank accounts and pull as much as they'll let me have to get $25,000. But could I do it? Yes. Could I do a cash advance on a credit card? Sure. Could a line of credit, right? I have a check I could write on a line of credit. Could I get a cashier's check for $25,000? Sure. But here's the deal. If there is a brick of gold that's an amazing deal that you can't lose, you would want to buy as many as you possibly could, right? Same with rental properties, right? If I have a property that is worth $500,000 and I have somebody willing to sell it to me for $300,000, if I know with no uncertain doubt and I've inspected the property, there's no major issues, again, do your due diligence, don't get scammed. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But if this was a legitimate distressed seller who was going to lose their house to foreclosure and it was worth $500,000 and they just wanted $300,000 and I could make $200,000, would I be able to come up with $300,000 for a deal that good? Yes. If the property is worth $500,000 and they wanted $450,000 cash right now, nah, that I probably wouldn't do that in cash, right? Because there's a little bit of money, right? I could make $50,000. But after realtor fees and closing costs, inspections, fixing things up, that could easily be that $50,000. So it's not really a big win. But if there's a huge spread, a stock, that's maybe more realistic for people. If there's a stock that's worth $50 all day, and then for some crazy reason, but the fundamentals of the stock and the company do not change, for some crazy reason, kind of like a GameStop. If you've been around long enough to remember the whole GameStop AMC thing, I was there, I was watching that. If you can get something on such a massive discount, like 50% off, if you can buy a stock for $25, $5, a penny, and you know that thing is worth 10 times, 50 times, 100 times what it's trading for right now, you would, like a cryptocurrency, if you really believe and and again, do your due diligence, don't get scammed, right? But if you know it's going to the moon, you want to buy as much of that as you possibly can, hand over fist, as fast as you possibly can, and as much as you possibly can. So that's why I say access to capital is so important. For you guys who have a credit card with a $1,000 limit, no money in your bank account, no assets except your car that's kind of a hoopty that you might be able to sell on a good day for $500 to your friend Jeff across the way, you are in trouble. That is not good. That is bad. You need money in your bank account. You need cash on hand. You need gold and silver. You need cryptocurrency. You need real estate. You need investment, assets. So for most people right now, you may be starting out and saying, oh my gosh, well, how do I get access to capital, Brandon? What do I do? Well, you're not going to like it. You're going to have to increase your credit score. Yep, there I get it. I said it. I'm the bad guy. You need to go increase your credit. And yes, we all know how to do it. Make on-time payments. Do not have your credit utilization above 10%. Well, they say 30%, but really 10% is ideal. Have a long credit history. Have a good mix of credit history. Don't have a bunch of hard inquiries, right? Like the very standard stuff. If you've been watching these type of videos, I'm sure you've heard it from somebody else. Why do I need good credit, Brandon? Well, as you may have heard when I was listing off my access to capital, one, it's actual cash in a bank account, but it's credit cards and home equity line of credit and secured line of credit, right? Or unsecured credit, right? You can go to a bank and get a line of credit, secured or unsecured, right? Based off of how much money you have, your relationship with them, and your credit. So if you have crappy credit, please fix that. please, 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 please fix it. Become an authorized user. Okay, this is an amazing tip right here. Become an authorized user on somebody who has good credit already. Become an authorized user on one or multiple of their credit cards. As long as they have good credit, that will help you significantly. But you need good credit. And the reason why you need good credit is to get lines of credit from banks. You need it to get good deals on credit cards, right? With high limits. If you have a home, you want to get a home equity line of credit. You can do that, but it really helps to have good credit, right? Obviously, you need to have a home, which is, I know not everybody has one of those. You need to have good credit, and then you also need to have a job to make sure you can pay back whatever money they let you borrow. But credit is among those things. So if you want access to capital, build good relationships with people. That's important. Build good relationships with banks. That's important. And do what I've been telling you to do and buy a freaking house whenever is possible. Again, location's very important. Make sure you can afford it. Please don't go into foreclosure trying to buy a house that you can't pay for, right? Buy a good deal, fix it up, wait a couple years. And I know this sucks, and I had to do the same thing, right? I bought my house when I was 25. I'm now 31. It's been 6 years since I bought my first house, and now it's finally paying dividends, right? The payments are low. I have a home equity line of credit on it. I'm getting some cash flow because I have renters in there. So the benefits take time. So start now, right? Because if you don't start now, 6 years from the future, you're still going to have nothing. So start now. But access to capital is the number one thing that I think everybody struggles with. When everybody says, oh, I'd love to start a business. Oh, I'd love to invest. Oh, I'd love to buy real estate. It's because they don't have capital. They don't have money. They don't have access to money. Start building that relationship with those people now. Build your credit, get a house, talk to rich people, whatever it is you need to do, but just start doing something. Access to capital, my number one pro tip for getting ahead, getting out of the rat race. I'm still working, but I'm in a much better place than I was 6 years ago because I started working on my credit. I started getting access to capital through credit cards and then eventually home equity lines of credit and then my actual own cash, right? So just start doing those things today and I promise you'll thank yourself in the future. Catch you later.